You're listening to The Fellas with Anthony McCoy,
Listen, man, that wasn't my fault. It was an unknown error.
Rich Thurston,
Someone said it was like the Bulls never changed their passwords, and Tibbs just popped in and did an auto trade.
Kev Lund,
We're out here doing this podcast, and these fools are out here blowing Super Bowls. Like, let's switch that up. Pay me a cool million, and I'll call the right place. I promise you.
and Kyle Straub.
When one of those point guards is James Harden, yes, the answer is yes, they are a better team.
Back for another week, and just like normal, Buffalo is no longer in the playoffs. Anthony will join us a little later, but we're going to start getting on him without him being here. Buffalo got in. He was all excited, told us he wasn't going to catch the feels, but Rich, you're shaking your head. He caught the feels,
He
son.
was so into that shit.
And he
why
was
he's not
so
here right
upset
now.
the rest of the day.
Yes. Hating on the NFL. That's a horrible call. Like, Bill, oh my God. He was giving all the typical answers of the guy that just watched his team lose in the playoffs 10-3.
The fan having heartbreak.
Yeah.
You saw the picture he sent?
Oh,
All
yeah,
his
of him and the
gear
Bill.
on.
Yeah, like, you don't put
Making,
that. You don't put that on
making the
unless you're
Bills
feeling
Mafia
it.
face.
No, and he said he sent it to his son. So he
Yeah.
was talking trash to his son.
Yeah.
Like,
Taking like it had McCoy taking selfies.
Right? It's one thing if you put it on for, like, us to laugh at him like he did last week, but he put that on, went out in it, and was around
on
other
game
people.
day,
and
yeah, come on.
yeah.
So I was working. I didn't get to see the game, but I'm kind of happy I didn't because I
Yeah.
just got to follow through the text. So I could tell how much he was into that game and how much it was upsetting him about the different calls that were going on. But when I did turn it on is when Tyrod went down. And then they brought in the Doug, and man,
Doug.
he looked good.
You know, he was terrible.
I really wanted
Oh.
him to do something.
But you knew
Oh,
he
he
wasn't
did
going
something,
to.
all right.
Like,
He had that
Did you
one
see that
big play
text I
that got
sent
called
you?
back. Oh,
yeah, was it the text about how he played 4 snaps, had a false start, intentional grounding, fumble, and interception?
Yeah, four plays, and they were all fuck-ups. The GOAT. Somebody commented, the GOAT. And then his other game, he throws 5 picks. Like, what kind of future does that kid have? Like, they
Yeah,
they
so
gotta
that's
be,
what I
like,
was saying. Like,
scrambling
they
to
actually
replace
gave
him.
this dude a start during the regular season. A playoff team gave him a start. He was terrible. They went back to Tyrod. There's no way in hell he was going to do good yesterday.
Absolutely not.
that
So
gets
did
you
you guys
didn't
get
watch-
to... What's
you didn't
that?
watch any of it, Straw? Just
No,
for
I
the-
literally didn't get to see any until just that last little bit
That
after
was it.
Tyrod went down. And once Tyrod went down, and you know that you knew that they had no chance of coming back then.
Yo, Blake
So-
Bortles is so bad.
Yeah, I mean the Jaguars are literally the Bears with Rex Grossman and the Ravens with Trent Dilfer.
You want to hear a wild stat? I always get these wild stats. So, Bortles had 20 plus. It was pass attempts, and he had less than 100 yards passing, and he won. Do you know the last time a quarterback had those same stats and won a playoff game?
Yeah, go-
Steve Air McNair in the Music City Miracle beating the Buffalo Bills.
Stop it,
That's
really?
crazy, right? Like, how does that happen?
Because it's the Bills.
Yeah, because it's the Bills. Because it was 17 years between.
I mean, that makes sense back then because they probably gave it to Eddie George, like 40 times.
Yeah, the game was a little bit different, but you still wouldn't think that that would be the case with McNair at least.
No,
He was a
and
good
it's-
quarterback.
And it's funny that, like, 17 years it only happened that one time.
Yeah.
Fucking Bills. But Bortles is trash. I mean, I would be excited about that Jacksonville team a little bit more. Because, I mean, at least Trent was out there and didn't, like, turn the ball over. You know, Bortles is a pick six waiting to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the whole thing with Jacksonville is like they've got everything and everybody except for a quarterback, and like he gives them little spurts. There was 3 games where he threw like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then the last couple he just completely shits the bed.
Oh, excuse me. This guy's over here just throwing shit around.
Anthony trying to get logged in here, a little late to the show, but we're gonna get him on. Now, did you guys, while Ant gets his stuff in here, did you guys get to check out any other games this weekend?
Yeah, I watched pretty much all of them except I was in and out of the Rams game because that pissed me off. That was the one team I really want to win.
But did you really think they were going to win, though? Like, being that young, I think I saw a stat where they only had, like, 4 guys on their roster with playoff experience before.
I don't know. I thought they had a chance. I mean, it's Atlanta. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We talked about at the beginning of the year where we weren't sure if the hangover from that loss for the Falcons was going to hurt them. I think now that they're in the playoffs, it's fuel for them. That's something that they can feed on and say, we're close. Let's just keep on going, you know?
Who did they play
Yeah,
next?
I mean, that's perfect for them, that game.
Who did
The
they
way it
play?
played.
I have no... Oh, Minnesota. No, not Minnesota. They play Philly. So Atlanta should have an easy one with Philly because Carson Wentz is gone.
Yeah. Didn't they say Phillies would
sets
be the
up good
first
for them.
1 seed to be an underdog in a divisional round?
Hell yeah,
I
with
wouldn't be
Nick Foles.
surprised.
Phony Foles, get out of here. And then I hope New Orleans beats Minnesota, so then it's ATL Atlanta versus New Orleans. I think that'll be a fly championship game.
Yeah, both teams like to throw the ball. They like to put up points. But the Saints have a really good defense this year.
Rookies too, all over the place, man. That's wild.
Yeah, Kamara. Who was Hunt? Was your dude at the beginning of the year? Kamara
Yeah.
took over towards the end of the season, though.
Yeah, that dude's a beast, man. Him and Ingram, both 1,500 total yards, was rushing and receiving. Those guys went off, man. They're both starting in the Pro Bowl. If they don't make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I was about to ask Anthony a question, then he just got up and left. So I guess we're going to continue on with him until he gets back from whatever he's doing. Something I actually wanted to talk about that I saw. I think it was Rich that sent the tweet or the text instant at first, and it was about the Patriots, maybe the beginning of the end,
Beginning
with
of the
them
end.
kind of getting on their nerves. So obviously that's not a realistic thing that I think is going to happen. But then I got home, and I saw a highlight or a headline. Belichick to the Giants, question
You
mark?
saw that, right?
Like, yo, come on. If that were the case, if he were to leave the Patriots, the worst place in the world for him to go would be to the Giants. Is that really what the NFL world would do to me?
Yeah, it would.
Like, that's what my thought was. Like, come on. We had this dude as a coach for literally 2 hours, and then he's going to go to our rival and then our other rival? Nah, that can't happen.
Didn't he say today he's not leaving?
Well, of course. Did you think he was going to say anything otherwise?
Yeah, but usually
They've
he
all
doesn't say
come out and
anything.
said something.
Well, his quote, they asked him about it, and he said, right now my focus is on making this team the best team that we can and trying to do the best that we can with this team. So somebody asked him, because obviously that's just avoiding the question, somebody asked him, do you plan on coaching the Patriots next year? And his answer was one word, and it just said absolutely. Didn't elaborate, didn't say anything that kind of could feed the fire, but it's Bill. I don't expect him to.
No,
Yeah.
I don't believe anything he says now anyway.
Yeah, so a one-word answer of absolutely in his mind, I don't think that means a damn thing. He was absolutely the Jets coach and then decided that he wanted to go be the Patriots coach.
Yeah,
so,
but this is a little different. Like,
I mean, not really. He left
it
the
is.
Jets.
2
Hold on, he
hours
left the.
opposed to 20 years? It's a
Oh,
lot
all right, I
different.
understand that. But he was an assistant with the Jets first. It's not like we
Yeah.
just got him off the streets. But it was a management thing. He didn't agree with the owners, and he said, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm going to go somewhere else.
And right now, this kind of looks like a management thing.
Exactly. So maybe
sure
it
is.
isn't that different.
But all three of them, Kraft, Brady, and Belichick, have all come out with the company line.
We'll see. Well, McCoy, you on there? You recording with us here, bud? Tuned
Yeah, I'm
in?
good.
Oh, good. You
I'm
missed our
always tuned in.
conversation. Missed our conversation about your boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You got any input?
I'll be
Anything you
sure to
wanna add?
listen. I mean, no, really. I didn't really expect them to win, so it is what it is. I just think the end of that game was kind of BS. Like, that rule where if you step out of bounds and can't catch the ball first, in that situation is really stupid. Like, that dude's like half of his foot was out of bounds and he comes back in, and that, like, why is that not a catch?
That, you complaining about that is how I know you were back in on them. Because that shit has been a rule for as long as we watched football, and I've never heard you complaining about it before.
I know it's a rule, but it's really dumb rule. Like,
Yeah, I know, but this is the first time I've ever heard you go in depth on how dumb it is.
But like, yeah, if that doesn't happen, Tyrod probably doesn't get choke slammed and taken out of the game. Like, we would have ran a different play, Like, the game, that changed a lot. And then once Doug came in, it was a wrap. So.
He tasted some of that yak.
I was watching the game, and I kept calling him Doug Peterson or Peterman. And everybody was like, no, that's not his name. That's the Eagles coach. And I was like, no, that's Doug.
Why is everyone out here trying to defend Doug's name? Like, who the fuck cares what his name is?
What did that dude have? The 4 plays, and it was the
Yeah.
fumble, the
Yep.
grounding.
Yep.
Like, man, get out of here. Like, you gotta have that dude's your backup. I
All right,
mean,
so
his
answer
last
us
start,
this,
too, was
answer us this,
stellar.
Anthony, because you can't keep up this charade that you're not a Bills fan. You're in all in next year, right?
All in.
All in, 100%.
He's at least
not.
25% in.
Oh, they got the 21st and the 22nd pick. I expect you to fully know who they're drafting.
maybe if they make the playoffs again, but we're probably gonna dump Tyrod and sign like Andy Dalton now or something stupid. So
Yo, if they get Andy
Smith.
Dalton, you're
Redheads.
100% in.
I'm here for Tyrod. If we get rid of Tyrod, I'm out. Like,
You're getting Alex Smith.
no, I'm 100% out
Listen.
if we get Alex Smith or Andy Dalton.
Listen, man.
I don't
Male,
mind that Doug's the QB.
female, male, you're in on all redheads.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
that's what I said.
there's
100% in if Andy Dalton is the quarterback.
Andy
I don't
Dalton
like
ain't
that
your
male
regular
changes.
Doug out there.
Dalton.
Doug Dalton.
That's Roger Klotz out there.
Doug Dalton.
Man,
You're in, dude.
That was awesome. He was so
I don't
in.
want to be in.
You
You
are
don't
in.
want to, but you are.
I don't want to be in. I
Like you
blame
thought-
everybody for trying to get me all fired up for that game.
We didn't try
When
to
I
get you
knew the
fired up. You
outcome.
did it to yourself.
Yep.
No, I didn't do anything.
Really? So you weren't sending
Yeah.
texts to your son talking trash with your Bills stuff on?
Oh, of course, I got to do that. Got to play
Oh,
the
okay.
game, son.
So how is that? How is that all of us getting you hyped for the game?
Well, it was fine. You guys were all hyped up last week. Now I got to deal with Derek and his brother and dad and them dudes getting me off, trying to get me all hyped. Like, I knew what the outcome was. I knew how this was gonna end.
But it didn't change your feelings, though.
Like, they scored 3 points in a playoff game. That's terrible.
Yep.
That was-
Richie Incognito.
That's another
got you
reason I'm
fired
glad I
up.
didn't see that, because that score had to have been such a boring game.
Oh, it was terrible. They punted the first 25 minutes of the game, and then they got field goals each on their last possession. I'm like, this game is awful.
You didn't
Yo, I
have
thought you were
anybody to
about to
do
s-
anything.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say they punted the first 30 times they had the ball.
Might have been.
What?
It wouldn't surprise me, son. Like, that game was awful.
Did you
That's-
see LaShawn McCoy's ankle last week?
Yeah.
Like that looked like he was done till next summer, dude.
That
And then
man
he
was
came out
probably.
and played.
Yeah, he was so drugged up, I bet. Like, he came out
Oh, I'm
after
sure.
halftime, too, and had a few nice runs. And I was like, man, this dude is on the moon right now. Like, he's so shot up. He
And
can't
that
feel
one
a
run,
thing.
he was pissed because there was holding, and he had busted
Yeah, that
that
was a
big
nice
run
run, too.
too.
Yeah. So I was telling Derek, I was like, he was talking about the players, and I was like, well, I would get a Shady jersey, but I'm not rocking the MCC out here.
Talking about
phonies.
getting jerseys, you, oh my God. You
Right.
are
There's
a
only,
Bills
there's only
fan,
one
son.
Buffalo jersey to get.
I had full Bills attire on yesterday.
Eric Molds, brother.
Eric, I can't afford that.
All right, come on, Kev. Stay in this price range.
What am I getting next to Wilson?
Did you see OJ out there rocking the shady?
Yeah, that's the juice is loose.
Yes, he was. You should have got him out there. Scored more than 3 points.
Ain't nobody tackling him.
Scoring touchdowns, fool.
Yeah, that's right. Got the shank on him. They don't want those problems.
Yo, he had the Griffey head, son. You saw that thing? You
Yeah.
see his head?
He's drinking that tonic in
What's-
prison, so.
I was gonna say, what was he doing locked up, man? You know, his head is huge.
That was
Say
the
it
highlight
to,
of
say
the
it to his
day.
face, Kev.
Yeah.
Cheers. I ain't saying nothing like that to OJ.
Yeah, that's right.
If it doesn't, what is it? If it don't fit, you must
Must
quit.
have quit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So something else that I wanted to talk about that came up over the weekend has kind of been a reoccurring theme since we started this podcast, and it's the Lakers and LeVar Ball. At it again.
Always at it.
The last time we talked, it was LeVar. It wasn't quite LeVar criticizing Luke. There was a little bit of that, but it was more of the Lakers trying to seem like they just wanted to get the attention away from him. Well, he's over in Lithuania or wherever he is, and they still find a way to get headlines from him.
You saw what he
What-
said?
What is your thought at this point on it, Rich?
I don't really know. Like, they need to come out and say something, like, Luke's our guy, because everyone's saying they have to stand up to him, but what can they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they can't silence him. Like if he's
Yeah.
not on their property, they can't tell him that he can't talk to somebody.
Yeah, so
Especially if he's in another country.
So they just need to come out and say, like, look, Luke's our guy. Because the longer you don't say anything, the more it makes it seem like, well, maybe he's got a point.
Well,
But ESPN didn't show the whole thing where after he said that they don't want to play for him anymore.
Of course not. That's all that they needed was just that headline.
Yeah, but after he said that, I guess he was like, but I don't know. Like, I'm over here, he's over there. So, like, he kind of qualified it as, like, he doesn't know. He's not getting any kind of inside information about it. But they got all they needed, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I think anybody that's smart enough realizes that the shit that comes out of LeVar's mouth, he doesn't know what he's talking about half the time anyway.
Well, the problem is a lot of Laker fans agree with him.
Well, a lot of Laker fans are stupid.
That's right.
I do think the one thing I saw that I liked about this situation was the players in the locker room coming out and supporting Luke. Like I saw Kuzma, who's
Yep.
pretty close with Lonzo. Even Lonzo himself said that he likes playing for Luke.
Well, I saw Lonzo said that he'll play for any coach, and then
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Well, that doesn't really answer the question." But
I mean, I think it did because they were asking, like, do you have an issue? Is this something that your father got from you kind of deal? And he was like, no, I'll play for anybody. Like, I'm not going to sit here and dictate who the coach is. Whoever you put in front of me as the coach is the coach, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at that I liked was he was like, listen, my dad's a grown man. I can't stop him from saying or tell him to say something. He's going to say whatever he wants. I just got to do what I do. As long as he can keep that mentality, I think Lonzo will be fine. But the Lakers need to squash this shit internally. The public, the ESPN's going to continue to take the sound bites, but internally they need to do something.
it's so hard. It's gonna be so hard for Lonzo to walk that line, though, as a 19-year-old, because he doesn't want to hate on his dad. He doesn't want to hate on his employer. So, and
I think he needs to tell his dad to shut the hell up, honestly.
yeah, but at 19, he's not gonna go
Like,
tell his dad
I
to
get
shut
it, but I'm in the NBA, not you. Like, worry about the other two, and I'm here. Let me do my thing.
None of us
Yeah.
would. I don't think any of us would go tell their dad to shut the hell up at this point. At
If
19.
they're doing that, though, son,
Listen, it sounds like at 32 and like now, yeah, I see what you're saying. But 19-year-old me, NBA, $5 million, they're not. I'm not gonna go tell my dad to shut the hell up or
well,
back
I mean,
up.
you don't gotta say it like
I know,
that,
but
man.
like either way, but like if it's your dad and you go tell him to back up, no matter how you say it, it's gonna sound like shut the hell up.
Yeah, but he can't just be like, hey, you know, this is really making things harder for me. Like, do you mind toning it down a little bit? I don't think that.
Yeah, but you think
It's
LeVar's
an
gonna
issue.
handle that? You think LeVar's a level-headed enough man?
Not at all.
Handle
He's
that?
got to deal with it then, though. Like,
But I mean, literally the only person that he'll listen to, I think, at this point about this topic would be Lonzo.
Yeah, but in
Like
Lonzo's
you're
19,
affecting your son. You're claiming that everything you're doing is to try and build your sons and help them. If he's now telling you, "Yo, chill, you're hurting my career," that's your point. You got to cut it there.
not
Well-
even like that. He can just say, like, you know, I don't, you know, the distractions are kind of weighing on me. Like, you know, if you could just, like, chill out a little bit, it'd be cool or something like that. Like, he doesn't have
Yeah.
to say it's hurting his career because he helped him get to where he is. Like,
Well, I
but
think-
but I think he is hurting his career, though.
You're gonna call him soft if he says that, Anthony.
he's soft.
I kind of think that's the problem. Everyone gives LeVar too much credit for where Lonzo is.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Listen, LeVar Ball, if he was as good of a player developer and coach as he claims he is, he wouldn't be having to take his sons from an AAU court and walk off because he's their coach. He'd have an actual coaching job that he was getting paid for to do. That's not the case, though.
I think LeVar thinks, and I think part like Lonzo and his family is kind of brainwashed to think that LeVar's the reason they're at where they're at.
Well, the more time that he's away from his father, maybe the more he'll realize it, and he can get to the point where he tells his dad to chill.
You see, they wouldn't even let the other two kids play in their first game.
No. I didn't see that.
Yeah, but are you talking about the road game?
Yeah, they had a road game, and the opposing team wouldn't let the reality show cameras go.
So the balls didn't
LeVar
go.
was like, "Well, we're not playing then."
And then that team lost by 57
Like-
points.
Yeah. So those foreign Lithuanians ain't gonna be up for that, you know? Like, oh, these dudes aren't even gonna play road games. Like, that's not gonna go well. I figured it would
No.
take more than at least the first game for there to be issues, you know?
Right?
But I guess it's not surprising either.
Nah, son, the ball, you heard him. The balls are in Lithuania, so it's lit.
Yeah.
He was a fool, man.
When he was on ESPN, they were asking him if he had, like, you know, if they were nervous or whatever, like playing outside of the country in unfamiliar areas, and he was like, "Oh, he's like, see, that's the problem." He's like, "Oh, y'all are soft and worried about where somebody's
See?
playing." He's like, "We'll go play in Timbuktu."
Can't pull
We're
that
just playing
soft shit with
basketball.
him, man.
No, everything's soft.
Rich.
Yo, you
and
know
so
what?
is-
This dude needs to be careful because in those other countries, like we saw how easily his son screwed up and almost got thrown in a Chinese prison for a decade. As much as I don't want to give the asshole Trump some credit, he's not going to help them out if they get in trouble in another land again. He's not going to give a word to the Chinese prison or wherever they are. They're going to just rot.
This ain't even China though. This is Lithuania. You better
Well,
not
but
fuck up.
whatever country it is, like nobody is saying anything in their defense at this point. They
Hey,
screw up, they're done.
I got questions for Rich. So, is all of this worth Alonzo at the number 2 pick?
Yeah, because he's really good.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
rather have like Tatum or somebody?
No, because I think Lonzo's going to be really, really good.
Do you think this will get any worse though, or you're just saying it's right now as where it is, it's worth it?
I don't like
The arrow's pointing up.
what's the worst that could happen.
That he completely destroys the internal workings of the team, causes a rift between ownership, management, and players, and Lonzo has to leave the
So
Lakers.
Paul George or LeBron come out and say, "Oh, I'm not playing there."
Or yeah,
because
there's
LeVar
another
Ball's
there's
involved
another
in
worst
this game.
case.
him destroying Lonzo and him saying getting free agents to say they're not going to come to the Lakers, I think are the worst thing that could happen. Because he's not coming between
Right.
Jeannie Buss and Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. And I don't think he can come between them and Luke Walton. But I think he can destroy his son, and I think that he can make other free agents not want to go there. And then I think
Do you think? I
Terrible,
think it's
right?
I think it's trending in that way. I'm
If
not going to say that that's
you-
the case yet.
if a big name free agent comes to you, to Magic Johnson and says, "Look, we would have signed with you, but I'm not trying to deal with this guy criticizing me when I miss a shot."
Right.
Then you have to either really think about telling him like, "This is how this is going to be. Like, you either shut the fuck up, or we're going to trade your son."
So,
What do you
Because-
think he does at that point?
so hold on.
What does
hold
he
on.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't shut up.
I think
Right.
I think
So-
if you give that ultimatum to LeVar, he claps back real quick.
LeBron is gonna go to the Lakers. Does he deal with fucking LeVar? Absolutely fucking.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
No.
not.
Absolutely
So,
not.
Magic and LeBron talk behind the scenes. I'm gonna come to LA. Fucking ball is gone quicker than fucking you can say it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe. I
You
mean,
don't think they would trade Lonzo to get LeBron?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't, but Magic would. He loves
yeah,
LeBron.
Magic probably
hell
would.
yeah.
Yeah, Magic would. Yeah.
LA,
Magic would do that
LA,
real
let's
quick.
come sell tickets.
Got
Big ass
LeBron,
smile.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's all it's all about.
It's all about the show, man.
Yep.
Showtime.
And let me
'Cause
tell you,
I don't even think
everybody
they should
out
go after
here
any of them.
would eat that shit up in
You think
Hollywood
they should
and
keep
LA.
their team the way it is now?
Yeah, I mean, if they can get Paul George, like just sign Paul George, that's fine. But like, I think keep them all. Like, keep all the young guys. Resign Randall, because whether they get LeBron and DeMarcus Cousins, or LeBron and PG, or DeMarcus Cousins and PG, this team isn't good enough to win a championship next year with them or not.
Right.
So let them
development
grow.
players.
So in 4 years, when you know if Lonzo Ball is the next Jason Kidd, and you know if Brandon Ingram is the next stud, like just go from there.
Well, that's the problem. Y'all got the Lakers and have what 11 or 12 wins. Like nobody's trying to do that and wait. Everybody wants the other Lakers fans want the right now. You know,
Well, the problem is so does Magic.
none of your players that you've drafted are bad.
Nope.
Like they've built a good team, like a really good young core. Like
Nope.
it just nobody wants to wait.
Nope.
Which
Share
I mean,
the
I
division
guess
with
I
the
get,
Warriors
but
too. That shit hurts.
yeah, like you ain't beating them anytime soon.
And you
Regardless,
figure
yeah,
take that 4-year span, let them grow, and by that time, maybe the Warriors are on the down.
right, and you're right.
One
where
or
you
two
need
of
to
those
be
guys
at.
finally leave.
Is
Or
Luke
in
the
4
future
years,
coach?
Curry and Durant will be 34-3. You know,
Is Luke the future head coach?
Yeah, I think Luke's a good coach.
he's soft.
In the wake of all of this, I've seen a couple of different coaches throughout the league come in his defense and kind of
Like,
go after LeVar a little bit, but more of it has been them just kind of giving their praise to Luke.
yeah,
The,
he does dumb shit, but like he's the
he's a
youngest
young
coach
coach.
in the
It's
league.
going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, every coach does dumb shit.
yeah. So he makes weird rotations. He won't sacrifice his second unit. Like when Brook Lopez got hurt, I knew he was going to start Andrew Bogut because he didn't want to break up the fact that Jordan Clarkson and Randall were coming off the bench together.
And
like,
now
he
you don't
d-
even have Bogut.
Yeah, well, Bogut wasn't doing anything anyway. So,
Not a loss.
but I got to hand it to Luke. He handled that shit awesomely at the end of the game yesterday at the press conference.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
that
I
was
was
a
waiting. I was
lot.
getting to that.
When he hit him with because they asked him why Lonzo was taken out early in the first quarter after he was playing well, and he said, "Well, his father was talking shit, so you know."
I loved how he was able to keep a straight face for a couple seconds while everybody's like,
Uh-huh.
"Wait a minute, is he really serious right now?"
That was classic.
I saw a report that said he's more annoyed that he has to like keep on hearing about it than he is worried about his job.
Yeah, I don't think he should be worried about his job. I mean, he knows what his security is within that organization. They've had
Yeah.
conversations. It's only year 2 with him as the friggin' coach. Like, if they brought him in and they were like, all right, we want you as the guy to grow with them, of course they're going to give up those growing pains and live with it. But, you know, if it keeps being something he has to get brought up, then I think it becomes an issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
We'll
see
see.
what happens.
It's continuing to trend that way, but we'll see. Maybe the Lithuanian team will get some turmoil going, and LeVar will turn his attention elsewhere for a couple of weeks for you. Now, staying in the NBA, we actually just kind of talked about it a little bit. LeBron James possibly leaving the Cavs, but while he's there, they're trying to make a big move right now. DeAndre Jordan out there, and they're the only team that's been rumored that's interested in them. They've got the ability to make the move and get him, but I read something today that there's one thing that's holding that deal up, and it's the Nets pick. Cavs don't want to give it up. Clippers want it. Would you guys give it up to get DeAndre Jordan?
What else are the Clippers getting?
I mean, it's going to be a package of some players that the Cavs have, some young guys, some expiring contracts, that kind of crap.
If
How
I was
many
the
years
Clippers,
does-
One? DeAndre's only got one on his contract?
I don't.
yeah.
So they're basically going all in on signing him and LeBron, and then they're both leaving anyway.
Well, the Cavs don't want to give up that Nets
I-
pick right now.
If I'm the
And that's what the-
Cavs,
But so I'm looking at it this way. Like, I wouldn't trade DeAndre. I don't want him. I don't think he's that big of an impact player. He's good, but he's not that big of an impact player. But if you're the Cavs, this is probably the last year you have LeBron. Probably the last year you're going to be in contention for a title. Why not make that
Ever.
move?
because with the number 1 pick, at least you have somewhere to start next year.
Yeah.
If you don't keep that pick, you say you trade that pick, you get DeAndre. LeBron's leaving after the season. He's out. DeAndre ain't gonna re-sign there with nobody. Their team's gonna be trash.
What
So
if
they
what
need
if
that
they
pick.
what if they trade for DeAndre? They win the title. LeBron may stick around if DeAndre does. He's got a winning team. Why leave?
I think LeBron's leaving anyway. And I don't think DeAndre Jordan's making them beat the Warriors, so
You saw
Rich,
what
McCoy,
LeVar
Kev,
said.
what do you guys think?
You saw what LeVar said, right? If he goes and wins a title on the third team, he's better than MJ.
Oh, I did see that, and actually, I thought
He
that
said
made a
on the
little.
Lakers. He
It
said if
made
he
a
wins
little.
one on the Lakers.
It made a little bit of sense with what he was
but-
trying to say. It was essentially that he didn't stay with one team and win 6 titles like Jordan, but everywhere he went, he saved the franchise and won a title. Okay, I can understand where he's coming with that, but back to the trade. Would you make it though?
No.
Yes, because you have to do whatever you can to keep LeBron.
I think that's the mentality that the Cavs have to have. I understand the other side of it, wanting to keep that pick because that's the way you start rebuilding. But we're talking about rebuilding. Win when you can.
Yeah.
But
Go
the
get
Cavs need to, because either way, like it's not like LeBron's young, you know. He's only got how many years left, so
I
they're
feel like
either
that
gonna
man, I feel like that man can play until he's 45. So.
probably. Yeah.
Right? He's in that Tom
Start
Brady
with
category.
He's in
Father
that
Time,
TB12.
you know?
Yeah, I get
like,
it.
Father Time will win, but I'm not putting an age on it with those dudes. It's going to happen, but who knows when.
He's gonna get injured at some point, and it's just gonna be all downhill for him. I'm not saying it's gonna happen next year or the year after, but at some point his body's just gonna be like, "You played way too many minutes on your big ass." Like, you're done. This dude is a freak.
I think I would leave that, like, all right, I got that option open, but I would try to shot, like, if I'm going to give that pick up, let me see what else I could get.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Like, let me call up the Pelicans and
Yeah,
see, like,
word.
if I can't
Yeah.
get one of them two, if I'm going to go all in for a year.
Boogie's
Yeah,
a free
that's-
agent after the year too. Try to
You know what I
sign him.
mean? Like, at least just, if you're going to do it for 1 year, make
Get
DJ
the best
like
player
the
you
last
can, yeah.
option.
Like, I don't think DeAndre Jordan's that great either, so I wouldn't be
I
trying.
mean,
to
with
trade that
LeBron,
for
it would
him.
be fun to watch, and it would be. I mean, he would
he would be
at
like
least
super
help on
JJ
D.
Hickson.
Is he better than Tristan Thompson?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you ask
Your
that
boy?
question? Really?
Well, I'm just saying, Tristan Thompson averages close to a double-double.
That's nice. DeAndre Jordan's been
think
on.
he's good?
DeAndre
do
Jordan's
think
been
he's
on
good.
all-star teams in the U.S. Olympic team. Tristan Thompson's never sniffed either of
Well,
those.
Tristan Thompson's from Canada, so he can't be on the U.S. Olympic
He
team.
can't even make the Canadian Olympic team.
He was on
Well,
it.
first of all, I'm sure he could.
I think
Let's not go too far, son.
like Tristan's D is like
Don't make
like
me
what-
defend him.
Yeah,
Like,
Tristan's D. He can come out and like you saw him come out on Curry
Yeah.
and whatnot. But I think DeAndre's D, the shot blocking. I don't know. I like that. They play two different types of defense. So I mean, what one goes well with LeBron. But I like him running the break with LeBron is wild, dude. Because that adds an element
just
that
throwing it up
Tristan
there.
ain't catching no oop, man.
He's not running the break.
He's
He
not
caught a
running.
pretty
He'll
nice
lumber
one from
behind.
D. Wade actually the other night. Actually, that was the last time we were doing the podcast. He caught a oop from Wade, and I
On
was
fast
like,
break?
"Ooh." Yeah, it's Wade just came over and like lobbed it
Yeah,
up. I thought it was LeBron.
that's his
He
one
must-
for
one
the
of
He
the-
must have
season.
been cherry picking.
Son, it looked like one of their Miami Heat oops, and I was like, "Oh, that was LeBron." And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
What the hell?
Yeah,
Well, look at him.
nice stretch.
Yo, the national championship game is on right now, and it's almost halftime, and it's only 6-0. This is terrible.
What did you expect? Who's winning?
Georgia.
Georgia, Alabama hasn't scored, and actually Georgia is about to get a touchdown. Just did. 13-0 Georgia.
Good.
Wow.
Tide coming back. Roll Tide.
I didn't even
that,
remember the
Nick.
game was on until about a half hour after it had started.
Oh,
I don't care about that game.
speaking of college, Kevin.
College.
Uh-oh.
Looks like the Tar Heels are closer to being not ranked than they are number 1 now, right?
See how
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
number
Roller coaster
20.
ride, man.
Number 20 they came in this week's poll.
See, funny how that switches really quick. Bum ass Tar Heels play some good teams. Get the fuck up out of here.
Minor step back for a major comeback.
Luke
Son, we're
May-
shooting
Luke
up
May
the
played
rankings
one
now.
good team and had, like, 6 and
UVA.
UVA was ranked higher than us, so how did they suck?
Like, we were underdogs in
Because you're the
both of
Tar
those
Heels and you're
games.
UVA, and I've been told UVA isn't the Tar Heels my entire life.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
that's why
not.
they can't beat us. UVA beat us last year too.
UVA has beaten us now 5 years in a row in Virginia. It's a hard place to play. Little John Coliseum is a small
Now
place.
it's a
Little
hard
John.
play. Little John.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Is that the dude from Robin
Listen.
Hood?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Listen, Rich, I told you at the beginning of the year when you asked me what we thought about North Carolina that we were going to go as far as our bigs took us. Our bigs are not good right now. We're not able to
Team
beat good teams.
sucks.
Right,
They don't
let 'em know,
suck at
Kev.
all.
Those players are trash. Those players are trash.
Who?
All of them.
I don't even know their names.
You're
That
gonna
tells
call
me they
players
suck.
trash.
They
You gotta
better be
give
on
me names.
ESPN.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Or
I
the,
saw your
the
boy
guy
Joe
that the
Barry
ref
get
turned his
banged
back to. The ref didn't even want to deal
Yo,
with
yes,
his
he
trash
did.
ass.
Yo, Joel Berry got banged on real hard, and I understand his mindset, but, bro, you're 6 feet tall. That dude was 6'9". What were you thinking?
He's having a rough week, man.
Then
he
you
got
saw the ref?
disrespected by the ref, and then
Yeah,
he got
that's what
dunked
I'm saying.
on.
The ref didn't
Ted
want shit to do
Valentine.
with him.
Yo, let's pause on the conversation with the Tar Heels and go to Ted Valentine for a half a second. This dude is a piece of shit. So,
Let him know.
so before the North Carolina incident with Joel Berry, which if you haven't seen it, Joel went to go talk to him about a call that was missed, and he literally just turned his back on him and stared at the stands until Joel gave up and walked away. You want to talk about showing up a referee? Well, there's a referee showing up a player and making things about him, and that's been a theme with Ted Valentine throughout his career. He's been known as a flamboyant, over-the-top, wants the spotlight on him type of referee, and it's exemplified by what has happened since that. People got on him. They asked him questions. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you talk to a kid who's a fourth-year senior and at least explain to him what it is that you saw or didn't see?
Right, do your job.
And instead of answering it, his reaction is, I can't deal with this criticism. I think I may retire. Good. Go retire. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Question his officiating.
I will never understand any person who wants to be an official or a referee or an umpire in any sport. What type of person are you that the best that you can get out of your performance is that you didn't be noticed? You didn't affect the game. Good job. Cool.
College ref, man. What do you expect?
Even in the at pro level, like why in the hell is that something you would want to do?
Because that's a
But
pretty
yeah.
awesome fucking job to be on the court playing, running up and down with
Yeah,
LeBron
guess
James
what?
and Steph Curry in the
I
finals.
get to be on the
Kyle.
court too, and I'm not reffing the game, so I'll take my job over being a ref.
Everybody wants their time to shine, son.
Well, referees, that's the thing though. Referees should never have a time to shine. That's not what their job is.
Yeah, but
Should
you're
be
always going to
robots.
get that badge. So it's out there trying to
Yeah.
get their face on TV, you know?
So anyway, back to the two losses. One was by one, which it literally,
State.
yeah, it was a shot that we've seen Joel make before. He made it two games before that to win a game. If it
Not
drops,
to the
we win.
Terriers. What happened there?
Hey,
Fletcher
it was a
McGee.
loss. It happens.
Fletcher McGee was burning the nets down.
Come on, man. UNC lost to the Terriers. If I
The
would've told you
biggest,
that
the
before
biggest
the
thing that
season,
I find funny
you told
is
me to go to hell.
how excited you guys get because they lost, and I really just it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Oh, Kyle, I sent the screenshot of the score in, and I just do that with no comment to grind your gears, and I
And I
know
didn't
I'm
even
gonna
respond to it.
Yes, you did. You said thanks for letting us know, Rich. Didn't know they played
Oh, I
tonight.
did,
And I
yes,
was like,
yeah.
got him.
Yeah, and then when I sent that
Hold
shit,
on
he
a minute.
was.
Hold on a minute.
Oh,
I
let
love-
me stop
I
rooting
love-
for
Hold
them.
on a minute, Kev.
They
I
lost
love
to
how
a
you
top
just throw
25
that
team.
angry tone into what I said because the way it was actually sent was, "Oh, geez, thanks for giving me the heads up."
Listen.
There was no anger in it like this.
I know how you said it.
You were
No, son, I really didn't.
Yeah,
Like I wasn't.
right.
I'm not upset about any of these losses that North Carolina has. One, they don't matter, and two, we're coming off a national championship.
When do they start to matter? When do they start to matter? Because Duke's gonna matter, right? But it doesn't really matter.
No. By that time in the year, they do matter because those are the wins that you need to get into the NCAA
You want
tournament.
you want me to give you an actual answer to this question, Rich?
Yeah.
I need
No,
an
no,
actual
no.
I need an
No.
actual date when the wins start to matter.
2000, the next season, son. Because I actually don't give a shit about this season. Like, we won the national championship
Yeah, I mean,
last year.
they're honestly,
Realistically,
you guys
we're
are,
not
you're
gonna
barking
do it
up
again.
a tree where this
So,
year is
yeah.
a wash.
I'm gonna rest on my laurels for this year, son. I'll
But
worry about
typically,
it next
Rich,
season.
typically in a regular season, I would say February 1st. Any game after that, they start to matter.
Okay.
I'm playing with house money right now, son.
Kind of let down by these answers, Rich.
Yeah.
You can be let down. It's the truth. Like
With all this
until
pizzazz that I
Right,
hear
yeah, exactly.
UNC names spoken with in the
Yeah.
off season.
Uh-huh.
Son,
The
we went to 2
preseason.
straight national
Oh, I
championships.
can't wait for
Right,
it
they
to
just
start.
won a national title. I'm not
Go to
expecting
3?
another
Damn.
one this year. So why would I be upset when they lose
Not
to a
gonna
top
happen,
10
man.
team?
Man, I expect championships every year for my team. No
Well,
matter
I'm
who
realistic.
Oh.
Oh, hold on a minute, Kev. You're a Jets fan like I am. Quit that bullshit.
Go Jets. Super Bowl bound every year. They don't lose to the Terriers, I'll tell you that.
If there was a
they
team in
lose
the
to
NFL
Bills.
called the Terriers, we would.
Fletcher McGee.
Doug McGee out there. Light on
Nope. Fletcher's good enough.
Fletcher McGee. That's funny.
So, completely unrelated topic. We have had a whole lot of cold weather, even down here in North Carolina. Kev, I think you guys got a little bit of it, but it's been fucking cold as all hell for the last couple of weeks. Just to throw in another reason why you should never go to Australia. While we're dealing with that, Australia has had such hot temperatures that the roads are literally melting.
All right, so do you want that, or do you want New Hampshire's negative 100?
Well, I'm
I
not
was just
doing
gonna
neither
say.
of them.
Like, you gotta pick, son. Roads melting, or
I'm going to
Roads
New Hampshire
base
because
freezing.
I'm going to New Hampshire because all I have to worry about is the weather. I don't have to
Alright.
worry about all the animals that are
so
there.
same place, like where you live. It could either be negative
No, 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 but
100.
That's
Nope,
not what I was.
nope,
That's
this
not
is
what I was
we're doing,
doing.
son. It's
I mean, I'll
either
take-
gonna be negative
I'll take a
100 or 200. Like
200. You die in
200.
200. So what are you
No, I
talking
don't mean
about?
literally. You know what I mean. You can take Australia's weather than negative 100.
The roads have been melting because they've just
hot.
sustained like 100, 110 degree temperatures. I'll take that. That happens in North Carolina during the summer a lot. But the fact that it's just stayed there and their roads are literally melting. They put out a fucking notification and said, motorists, stay off the right side of this highway because it is melting.
I'll take it. son.
Ozzy should have been better prepared, man.
You saw I just posted Thanksgiving weekend where I was driving. It was 125 degrees. I'll take it. I don't want that negative 100 shit.
So the negative 100 was where?
New Hampshire or Vermont
Yeah, it was on
or
top of a
somewhere?
mountain in New Hampshire.
Didn't one of you put it in the group chat?
Yeah, it was on top of
The-
a mountain in New
The
Hampshire.
eyelashes fell off, son.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. The wind chill, right? It wasn't actual temperature.
Yeah, it was really fucking
I don't
cold.
care what it is. If it feels
No,
like
it-
negative 100.
And that's the
You
temperature.
do care. Because if it's
That's what it
actually
feels
negative
like?
100, you can't go outside. If it feels like it, you can still go outside. You're just stupid.
Man, I was outside when it was negative 10, and I felt like I was going to die. I came running back in the house. I was in the fetal position under blankets. Like, I was shoveling for like 3 minutes, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, this is terrible.
The worst cold I ever felt was when I was in Plattsburgh, my freshman year of college, and they called up the dorm room phones because when we were in college, cell phones weren't that prevalent yet. So they called up the dorm room phones
Old ass.
and told us that classes were canceled and that we had to stay in our dorm rooms because they would also bring food to us because the dining halls were closed. Well, me being me, you tell me I can't do something, I want to know why. So I threw a jacket on, I ran downstairs, I went outside. Holy shit. In negative 30, it's not cold. Anything that's exposed burns. It feels like it's under fire. And it makes you take a deep breath, which hurts because then you lose your breath because it's so cold. And back inside I went. I'm not dealing with negative 30 degrees ever again in my life.
They gave you a warning, son. You're like the dude that's in a haunted house, and here's
Nope,
this ghost
nope,
saying, get out,
nope.
and you say, oh, I'm going to go check that out.
Except
Like,
I'm
come
not
on.
the guy going in the haunted house because it's
Yeah,
haunted.
Just out,
Not
negative 30
happening.
degree cold.
And then, you know, when it gets that cold, you breathe that in and it freezes and cuts your lungs, and then
Yeah, wait,
you
literally-
breathe
yeah,
in
literally,
your lungs
when
and
I-
you drown. So, no.
When I walked
And you
outside and
drowned.
it was that cold, it hit me and you get that like, ooh,
Ow.
and you take a deep breath in and it hurt because you could feel all like the little hairs in your nose and down your throat freeze. It's fucking miserable.
It's terrible.
I've said for a long time the cold is what death feels like.
Just gets into your bones, son, and like you can get inside,
Everything
get under the
dies.
blankets, and you just like still
Done.
feel it. Can't get it out of there.
The end. Did you see that? Did you see that thing I sent? The iguanas were falling out the
Yeah.
trees in Florida. Yo.
Like I've seen
But then they
birds.
come back to life. They can stay frozen like that and not move
Yeah.
for 48
Oh, 'cause
hours.
they're,
And all of a sudden
The
they,
reptiles.
Yeah,
yeah.
because they're cold blooded. That makes sense. I was gonna say I've
Imagine
seen
that.
birds. I've
Getting
seen
frozen
birds
for
that are
like
dead
40
on
hours,
on the
huh?
road. What's
yeah,
that?
just one sitting
Imagine
there.
that, just getting frozen for 40 hours and then waking up like, oh, I'm good.
What the fuck happens? Huh?
Yeah.
Demolition Man.
Simon Phoenix.
Isn't Ted Williams' head frozen?
I think so. Him and Walt Disney, I think.
Walt Disney. Yeah. Are the Jews dead yet? Remember that Family Guy?
Yeah.
Racist ass.
They're just freezing heads. Do they think Futurama's gonna happen? Like we're gonna put people in glass
Put their
jars,
head-
Yo, man,
just
I
have them
bet
talking
you.
and living?
Yo, rich people are out here doing some wild shit we don't even know about. So
You know what they're doing? I watched this video.
Sending
You would like
rockets into
this.
space,
Nah,
scaring
man.
everybody in Cali.
Real life Spider-Man shit.
What do you mean, real
They-
life Spider-Man?
They
Sign
took
me up.
they took spider DNA and injected it into a goat.
To a
So,
goat.
yeah, so now it makes
Spider
like
goat.
bulletproof wool, son, because you know, like the.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, I'll send you the video.
That's wild. Yeah, it's not that.
So then they took the same DNA from the goat and they put it in this little like petri dish, with like, and they grew human skin and they
No.
put it on there, and then they got this this 1 foot by 1 foot piece of like spider DNA human skin, and they shot it with a bullet, and the bullet didn't go through it.
This is why the world's gonna end.
Seriously.
Word.
So
Like
the
everybody else
military
is
just
worried about
invested
nuclear
mad money
weapons.
into
Stop
it.
creating things that are not natural.
Right? Never play God.
Spider DNA, son.
Fucking the upside down is going to be real
Spider
soon.
goat. The upside down is gonna be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Some other dimension, the demons coming out. That's way. I'll
That
take
goes-
a test to become Spider-Man.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah. Yo, have you guys ever heard of a TV show called Ancient Aliens?
No.
Is it on the History Channel?
Yes. So I turned my TV on and I had watched something on the History Channel the night before, apparently, because that's what pops up is Ancient Aliens, and it's all about like the Egyptian times, and like these people find ways to be like, well, they couldn't have done it themselves. Aliens must have come down and helped them.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, cool. Just like the Earth is flat. Anyway, so
Hold on. Are you dismissing aliens?
Yep, sounds like it.
no, I'm not dismissing aliens. I'm dismissing that they came down,
You better
gave us the
watch what you
technology
say.
to build pyramids, and then just bounced and have never returned.
Maybe they did.
Would
They
you
never
return?
left, son.
So hold on. Let me finish to the point that I was getting at, because you'll understand why I completely discredit anything I heard in this show. Because one of the things that they theorized was that these aliens that came down could have possibly been the reason for comic books. Superheroes are actually our subconscious realizing that in our past, superheroes existed, and we may have been one of them.
Nice.
Nice?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Our subconscious just knows that we were Spider-Man and Aquaman.
House
And,
Wolverine.
like, come on, where do you
Nobody
come up
wants
with
to be
this
Aquaman,
shit?
son. I'd be so disappointed if that were true and I found out I was Aquaman. Like,
Yes.
so disappointed, son.
It's really funny that we're talking about this because just hours ago, me and my 5-year-old son had a discussion about aliens. And he asked
Here
me
we
if
are.
he asked me if I thought they were real. And I said, yeah. And he said, why? And I was like, because of space doesn't stop. So why would we be the only planet with shit on it?
Yeah, like,
Like,
we
I
know
didn't
of-
say
we
it to
know
him
of
like that, but,
thousands of
like-
other galaxies. How are we
Yeah.
the only life?
And then he looked at me and was like, you know what I think happened? And I was like, what? And he said, I think that the aliens came here when dinosaurs were here and they got into a fight and the aliens threw a giant rock at the earth and that's why the dinosaurs died. And I looked at him and I was like, you're onto something, kid.
The History Channel's about to be
Right.
at your door tomorrow, son.
Right?
Threw a giant rock at the Earth.
That's exactly
Then he started
what
asking me if like people ever have seen aliens. I was like, people said they've been taken by aliens. And he was like, what do you mean taken?
That would freak me out as a little
Yeah,
kid.
it started
Yeah,
to,
man.
and I had to let him know, like, you don't have anything to worry about. He said, "How do
When
you
he's
know?"
coming.
I was like, "You know what? I
The
can't really
aliens are
promise
coming.
you that."
Does he still have that toy gun hidden in his
Not
little
anymore.
box?
Not anymore.
Not
He
anymore?
went to this birthday party on Saturday, and they made their own. You know those like bouncy balls you like, McCoy?
Yeah.
They made their own, so he
Really?
has that in there now. Yeah, it was
How
like
do you make? How do you make a bouncy ball?
it's like the saline stuff that's in a diaper inside this like cube, and then they put some soap in it, and like it absorbed it and like wrapped around the like mold.
And it's an
pretty
actual
dope.
bouncy ball now?
Yeah, it's an
You did
actual
this at
bouncy
a
ball.
birthday party?
Yeah, this girl had a birthday party. They were both invited, and it was like a mad science birthday party. So this guy just talked to him and did science stuff for like an
Kyle's
hour.
gonna be doing some mad science in his
That's pretty
apartment
cool.
kitchen tomorrow.
Damn,
He had a whole
they
bunch
do
of
nothing like
dry
that at
ice
the
and stuff.
Birthday
I'm
party
gonna get a
somewhere
text
too.
tomorrow saying,
Right?
sorry, that we have nowhere to stay when you come down here.
blow
They
up
didn't
the
do
whole
nothing
building.
like that at the birthday party I went to, son.
Nope, it was actually the best birthday party I went to because all the kids just sat there in a room for like an hour, and then by the time that was done, it was time to eat pizza, and by the time that was done, it was time to eat cake, and by the time that was done, it was time to get the fuck up out of there.
Word.
It was a
Nice
good party.
structured,
right there,
nice
son.
structured birthday party. Keeps them
was.
entertained. Good to go.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
man.
kids got to play with some dry ice.
Yo, that shit is mad fun to play with.
Yeah.
Good time had by all.
All right, McCoy, you were a little late getting in here. We're getting close to our hour. So, do you have anything that you would like to talk about before we sign off?
Any of y'all see that Chappelle? Watch the Chappelle stuff yet?
No, I keep on forgetting it's on there.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. I watched the first one last night. That dude was killing me. I only watched the first one. I might watch the second one. After
Is this like another new one that's on?
But, yeah, there's two new ones on Netflix.
Oh,
now.
nice. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
I
there were
saw
two
the
new
fact-
ones.
This one he did a private screening. I think he did it in front of like just whatever crowd was there, and it was a private show.
Mhm.
I guess he was saying during it, like they took everybody's cell phones, so nobody was like
Nice.
tweeting or on social media during it. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it was pretty funny. He was talking. He had me dying.
Usually
That
does.
dude- yeah, that dude's just as funny as ever.
I was
So I wanna
scrolling through
watch the second one
Netflix
then.
and saw they were on there, and I was like, man, I want to watch this, but I got to be in the right. I want to be like I was in a pissed off mood.
Yeah,
I wanna just
no.
be like in like a good mood and want to just laugh to that shit.
Yeah.
I got Wednesday off. I think I'll be in a nice, relaxed time on Wednesday. I could just chill on the couch and get in the right state of mind and watch it.
Yeah, I think they're only like 40. The second one I know for a fact is 46 minutes. The first one I didn't notice because I don't know. I never looked at it, but it wasn't that long. So they're pretty, not decent
But they're
amounts
not the
to end
same show, though, right? So
up.
it's
No,
not like
two
you're going to hear.
separate- It's just like the last one. It was two
Okay,
separate
cool.
shows. But
You
Yeah,
better
that's what
keep bringing
checks out.
these, man.
yeah, like these ones are recent. So like it talks about Trump.
Good.
Like it talks about a lot of like the stuff going on and stuff. But it was really funny. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. Either of you guys, Kev, Rich, anything to add in here?
Oh, I did have something I want to talk to you guys about. Did you guys see that Paul Pierce was pissed that they were going to do an
Yeah,
Isaiah
fuck Paul
Thomas
Pierce.
Isaiah Thomas tribute video on the same day they're retiring his jersey?
Like I saw.
Trump for
tight.
that though?
Yes,
no,
he
I don't
is.
really think so.
I think he should have his own, right?
Yeah.
Hold on a
Paul
minute.
Pierce
Hold
is
on a
a-
minute. Hold on. Because when they do that, it's not like the entire game. They're like Paul Pierce, Paul Pierce, Paul Pierce. They literally just showed one little video for IT, and the rest of it was all about the ceremony for Paul Pierce. Stop being a baby. Stop being selfish. Let somebody else have some shine. Get out of here.
No, I don't think he's wrong.
Nah, yeah.
We're really
he's a
doing a
legend of their
video
team.
for IT.
That's fine. And that was the first time that IT was back in that arena. So you give them that little
Well, no,
that
it's-
little
it's-
video,
It's,
and you're done.
They didn't do that yet.
What
This
did
is planned
IT
for,
do
like,
that he
February or
deserves a
March,
video?
isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
Kev.
baffled here. Hold on.
Kev's
Let's
got a
clear
good
this.
point.
What did IT do that he needs to have a tribute
It's
video?
because of what happened last year and his playoff run and stuff. But
Yeah, with his sister.
I mean, how long was he on the Celtics? Son? Like
like 3 years. Yeah, he was on there for
Paul
like
Pierce is.
They
a
didn't
Celtic
draft
legend,
him.
like-
They
Yeah,
never
but they're
won
not.
anything
They're not
with him.
retiring a jersey or honoring a jersey. They literally are just showing a
No.
little video to
But they're
like, hey,
they are
thanks for your
retiring a
years.
jersey. They're retiring Paul Pierce's jerseys.
I know that, and all I'm saying is they're literally just showing a tiny little video that says, "Hey, thanks for your time here, IT," and that's it.
Nah, the truth is speaking the truth here.
Man.
I'm not with you guys.
Did they draft? They didn't even draft IT, did they?
No,
No.
he was on like the Suns.
He
the
was on like
Kings.
2 different
Yeah,
teams.
like
Yeah.
He was the
Get outta
last
here.
draft. He was the last pick in the draft in like 2011 or
Yeah.
10.
I'm fine with them
No
saying
video.
thanks for being here
No, they can say that.
with a
but-
video.
Yeah, but not on the same day Paul Pierce is getting his jersey.
word.
His jersey.
Oh, well,
retired.
him
Next
a-
time.
Oh well, for
Give him
Paul
a
Pierce.
card.
Maybe he shouldn't have played in Boston. Boston's stupid anyway.
Give him something from Boston. Give him a fucking
Boston.
tea party. His midget ass could sit at the little table anyway. So I have a question real quick while we're on the NBA before we go.
All right, go for it.
The Spurs should just tank, right? I mean, they're not going to win anything this year. Kawhi's hurt again. They should just get him fixed up and just start dropping games and get a decent draft pick, right?
I don't think the Spurs can tank.
Yeah, that was gonna be my answer. Like,
That's what I was thinking. They're not a
Like, make
franchise
this-
that can do that.
Just stop winning, son. I could see Pop just throwing a random ass roster out there for the
Kev,
rest of the year
Kev,
just
they
to fuck
used to
shit up.
sit people when the Heat had like LeBron in them.
Yeah.
They sat all their good players and still beat
I remember
them.
that.
Like
That's what
I
I'm
don't think
saying.
they can.
Like I could see him, like, oh man, like just come to reality, and like you know how he hates on like all wise as hell to the reporters. Like he's
Yep.
always spouting off like some shit to Trump and whatnot. I could just see him just total like us, man, just rebel and be like being real with himself and just saying, "Fuck this! I'm not gonna win anything. Let me get my man healthy, and let me just drop the rest of the game. And like they're not gonna get lottery or anything, but they'll at least like
The biggest reason
Get
that
up
they
there.
can't tank is because Rich's boy, Danny Green, is still going to sit out there and shoot threes and dunk on KD all year long.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that
he could
happened.
dunk on KD."
Oh, it happened. You want me to send you a
Dunking on
video
everybody.
again?
I never get it.
Never.
It's all lies. I tell you what, though, if they decide to tank, they'll lose every fucking game because Pop is a perfectionist.
You know?
It would just be so obvious, like if they were trying to lose, though. 'cause-
Yo,
But it wasn't
so-
obvious in Philly though.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. It's been obvious other places, so I don't think
Yeah,
that's
right.
the issue.
Pop would be pissed if you called him out on that.
Mm.
Like, oh, now I know how it's a
that
problem.
would be the best interview, son.
He should just be like, yeah, I'm tanking, and hold up his 5 championship rings.
Who would they even like, draft? Like, who's supposed to go number 1 in the
Son,
draft?
they would take
Bagley.
some guy we never heard of before, and he would become the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then everyone would need a center again.
Yeah, Bagley, I think, is right now projected to be the number 1 pick.
Is
Trae
Bagley
Young,
that good?
son.
I've never seen him play.
Yeah,
He's going to get at you
He's real
boys.
good.
That's the one. I'm watching him twice this year, so I'll figure it out.
The only thing I've noticed with him is that if he gets in foul trouble or if he has to sit for a while, he can get lost in the game. He doesn't really put his presence in there.
That's
and-
young players, though. I mean,
Yeah,
when we
exactly.
played-
He's
when
18.
Ingram was that dude. He lit us up the first time, and then the second game we had him in foul trouble, and that is exactly what happened. So
Yep.
he never got into the game, and we won.
But Bagley can shoot the 3, he can dribble, and he's a big.
Not really.
Yeah,
Maybe he needs to go to the Bulls then. Just combo out there with Laurie.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Still early in the year. Still a lot of evaluating to do,
Yeah, you just don't want him because he's from Duke.
pretty much.
Ooh.
Good spot
Well,
to end this one on. Thanks for tuning in, the fellas. We're out.